Hi there, this is very early in the morning. You can see the eastern horizon, which is reddish, and the radiant, resplendent, refulgent sun is likely to arrive to illuminate the darker part of the earth. Beloved friends, my sincere desire and the very purpose of life is to seek, to strive, to find the various ways and means so that we can live a life happily, peacefully, very successfully, blessed with all the abundance, material, physical, spiritual awards, rewards, and all the glory, name, fame, love on this planet Earth. Beloved friends, the journey of life starts with the birth for all the creatures, for all the species on this planet Earth. That is the law of the nature. But majority of the creatures, they just start the journey, and the journey came to halt all of a sudden without giving any signal, and that is called life. What I wish to share with you today, that this life is just an accident. Everyone is born and everyone is going to depart for his heavenly abode. Birds, beasts, plants, everything else, including human beings, animals. But beloved friends, what I mean to say, if human being could be also living just like the other species, the other creatures of this planet Earth, which is the manifestations of God, we could be living in the forest in a very barbarous way, uncivilized way. All these inventions, discoveries, achievements, thoughts, philosophy would be just a remote dream for the modern civilized human being. Today's world is so beautiful, fragrance because of the great people, sages, saints, poets, thinkers, philosophers, prophets and the wise men has given us the way how to live our life by controlling our mind and directing towards noble things, purity and thoughts, always trying to invent, discover the various mysteries of the nature and conquer the space and time and make the life of the mankind very happy, prosperous, joyful. Beloved friends, on the contrary, the greatest poets, the thinkers, the philosophers, the prophets really try to discover the various ways and means through which the man can really glorify his inner life, that is, think very seriously about the very purpose and very motive of living life. Majority of the people are just surviving. They are born and they live every day aimlessly drifting the ocean of life without any aim or purpose in life, just living the life, and once everything is over, they are trustless. Nobody knows, like the millions plants and animals, whether they were born or dead. But there are some of the people who have cherished noble ideas, cherished noble visions, dreamed lofty dreams, and they ultimately achieve it. And they made the world so beautiful, fragrance, conquered space and time, and showed the path of spiritual, the peace ways, the very perfect world of stainless beauty and perfect peace. Who can forget the Buddha, the enlightened one, the divine Siddhartha? Who can forget the great Christ, the teacher, who taught the suffering mankind to come out from the grief, sorrows, and bless them with all kind of wisdom so that they can follow the path, they follow the way and live a life. Similar things were done by so many great thinkers and philosophers and poets. Confucius did it. In India also there were great sages like Kabir, Tulsidas, Surdas, innumerable people all over the world, the intellectuals, they really mined the gold and diamonds more precious than which is coming from the earth, and the world is so beautiful, so bright and so nice because of these people who were just like the sun. You can see in the eastern horizon it is likely to rise. So these people come with the wisdom of their radiance, refulgence, and the lightening power which glorified the mind, heart and soul of the people, and those who were ready and willing, they really embrace it, use it and make their life very peaceful, happy, and just living enjoyable in a state of tranquility, serenity, poise, perfect peace, happily. Beloved friends, the very purpose of life is to live free from all ignorance, indolence, thoughtlessness, disease, and really enter into the kingdom of wisdom and knowledge, so that your life is always plenty. Everything is given to you, love, fame, fortune, all the blessings of the Lord you are enjoying on this life. But that is only possible once you really try to see exact things. Means viewing the world in a real way, exactly what you want and what you don't want. That you have to learn, and that way only you can be happy. Because as great Buddha says, to live is to suffer. And the real cause of suffering is your ignorance of unwanted desires more and more. The more you have, the more you want. And then really you become just like an insect which is stuck to the honey, struggling to survive, but ultimately death is inevitable. That is the case of the majority. They run after loaves and fishes, clinging, hankering after unwanted things and desire, and the life is full of sorrows and grief. And when they do not get what they want in life, they become discouraged, disappointed, and stick to negative mental attitude, hatred, greed, envy, jealousy, cynicism, and they poison their life, they poison their blood, and what that is beautiful, serene, they make it miserable, full of sorrow, suffering, grief, pain. They are always scorching. They are living just like a fish out of water. Now decide what kind of life you live, aimlessly, without any purpose, full of ignorance and darkness, and just having every moment in poverty, ignorance, indolence, thoughtlessness, and reaping the harvest of all your evil thinking. Or you want to live a life of stainless beauty and perfect peace, guided by the ways and paths shown by the great sages and saints, who dedicated, devoted whole their life to save the mass from the suffering. I wish, and I am one of your friends who want to lead the way of peace, prosperity, happiness, and success. Beloved friends, that will be your real purpose of life, because God gave you everything. When God made you, He did not create you just like the other species, plants, birds, beasts, but He made a replica of His. He gave you absolute control over your thought, your power of the mind. You can decide what you want just by dwelling in your thought. Thought in the mind has made us. What we are by thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind has impurity in thoughts, pain comes of him as the wheel ox behind, and if one endures in the purity of thought, joys follow him as his own shadow. Beloved friends, your thought, your thinking, your visualization, your realization of the reality of the world, and not the illusions and delusions, not gratification of unwanted everything else, the sensual pleasure, the drinking, the wandering here and there in the wilderness of ignorance. These are nothing but the cause of sorrows and suffering. Beloved friends, I let you strength. You have a mind, that mind which can create everything for you on this earth. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tools of thought and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys and 1,000 ills. Man thinks in secret and came to pass. The environment is but a looking glass. Further step, you see, dear friends. Man is his own star, and the soul that can render an honest and a perfect man commands all light, all influence, all fate. Our acts, our angels are good or ill, our fatal shadows that walk by still means you are the master of your fate and captain of your soul. You are the maker of your life, the builder of your character, and the shaper of your destiny, conditions, and environment. By just controlling your mind, focusing, concentrating, directing towards only real things in life, the perfect understanding things in life which lead you to happiness, cheerfulness, prosperity, joys, peace of mind, and then you become yourself a lamp, a light, a refuge, and then you spread that loaves of light to the millions and millions of the people who are deviants, who are just conforming and living the life just like the beasts, birds, animals and plants. That is your really awakening. That is really your meaning of life. That is really the very purpose of your life, beloved friends. Because all the worlds are for men, to conquer and to rule. That is the glory of the life of the man. But its rules are stringent. First you have to school yourself to learn the arts, the philosophy, the various ways. And here begins and ends your strife. There has to be eagerness, the anxiety, to free yourself from all sorrows and suffering, because you are indulged most of the time in the darkness, in the ignorance, in the indolence, in the thoughtlessness, what to do or what not to do. You have to decide what you want and what you don't want. And once you really understand exactly what you want, all the great which wanted and become happy and prosperous and got enlightenment and salvation, then you are awakened, a wise person, beloved friends. That is the theme of my life. I always think people are living, they are conforming just like birds, beasts. No, dear friends, be careful. You may follow the path of success, means by having desire, decision, faith, persistence, mastermind alliance and well-organized planning, and you can attain every physical world, everything you will conquer, the material world, the outside world, the without world. But that can give you only your physical gratification. But the mental gratification will only come once you are enlightened, once you are spiritually awakened. And that is the purpose of my life. And that should be the purpose of every wise person. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our life sublime and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Yes, you have to leave your footprints in discovery, in invention, enlightenment, in wisdom, in your literary talents like Shakespeare, Kalidas, and so many greats like inventors, Edison, Graham Bell, Wright brothers, Henry Ford. All these great people gave us so much. You have to be one of them. Like philosophers, like poets, like James Allen, William James, Al Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, so many great people, Abraham Lincoln. These were the masters of their fate and captains of the soul. By virtue of the thought, they take full possession of their mind, control and direct it towards attainment of success, and with their success, they help the million people, monetarily, intellectually, and the spiritual leaders also gave the enlightening path to really enjoy the life of peace, happiness, cheerfulness and prosperity. Beloved friends, start using and controlling and directing your mind towards noble things. Man has mind which does not know right or wrong. It is you who is going to sow the seed. If you sow the seed of noble things, you will be harvesting and making the castles and heavenly abode of peace, joy, serenity, beauty, all the success, glory, name and fame and love will fall on you. If you are ignorant and you allow the mind to drift like the waves, like the tides on the surface of sea, you will be just lost in the wilderness. You will try to gratify everything else and you will have no peace, no joy, no happiness. Beloved friends, that's the purpose of my talk today. And you know you have the ability, you have the power, you have your brain, and you can be what you want to be. You will be what you will to be. And you will fail several times when you are trying, because you have to pay the price. The trials, the failures, the struggle, the suffering, the headaches, the pains, and all sorts of miseries, all sorts of oppositions, and all sorts of adversities will come to you. But you have to take the bull by the horn. You have to meet them. And then the glorious days will come. The sun has a struggle to come to give us light. And now you see the sun is rising in the eastern horizon. Similarly, you have to struggle against the darkness, the cloudy summits, which will be really stopping you. You have not wings, so you cannot soar. But you have feet to escape and climb. By slow degrees and more, the cloudy summits of your time. Heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by a sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Yes, friends, be ready. If you are ready, If you really cherish a great ideals, cherish a great vision, cherish the music that starts in your heart, cherish the beauty that forms in your mind, cherish the loveliness that drives of your purity in thought. Remember it. These powerful thoughts will start attracting similar conditions, circumstance and environment, the heavenly environment, and you will be blessed by all these means, power, and forces. So you will be gratified with your dreams, with your lofty ideals, visions, and missions. That's why great are made. They are just like flesh and blood, like any common mass. But the difference was their willpower, their determination, their courage, their conviction, and the burning desire, that is aspiration. The great thought, the thought of greatness, the thought of becoming useful, productive, creative, and they didn't just live for themselves. They make the millions and millions more happy and prosperous. That is the real purpose of life. Not to live just like best animals, plants, but to live happily and cheerfully in the light of wisdom, enlightenment, knowing the exact path, becoming the lamp of yourself, becoming the refuge of yourself, because you have sought and strove to get the enlightenment and wisdom, and now you are moving with your enlightened mind, which really discriminates what is good and what is bad, what is great and what is small, what to do and what not to do. That is the question, my friends. Beloved friends, that is the real meaning of life. And you know how the great man lives? Ka visast binodeno, kalo gasati dhimatam, vesnem cha murkhanam, nindriya kalhenva. Means the life of great men are always spent in learning, enlightening, knowing the true path and wisdom, and the ignorant, indolent, and thoughtless, they just keep on gratifying the sensual pleasure and hankering after, clinging all the loaves and fishes, and they are just like an insect who are trapped in the honey and struggling for peace, happiness, and joys, but they get nothing but all sorts of sorrows, grief, and ultimately they struggle to death. Be wise. You know what you want in life, and that is the real success. But beloved friends, those people who have attained greatness, they should be very alert and cautious, because the mind is very drifting and very flexible. To meditate is to control your mind and to fix it on the noble thoughts. Then only you can have everlasting peace and joys and happiness. A controlled mind, a really entered mind, a blocked mind in the zone of greatness and success, that can really be source of your perennial peace and joys and happiness. Drifting mind can again make you miserable. That's why the sloka of Sanskrit says, Kama krodha tatha lobha hridaye tishtanti taskara jnana ratna bharaya tasmat jagrata jagrata. Beloved friends, they are very, very powerful emotions and thoughts. The emotion of love, the emotion of sex, the emotion of negative emotion of anger, hatred, greed and jealousy. And the greed, you have to be always cautious, otherwise they will steal your wisdom and enlightenment and they will make you miserable. That is very, very essential. These are the lessons we have to learn in life. And beloved friends, if you want to be happy, learn another lessons from the sloka of Sanskrit. Khaddosa purse ne hatabyam bhuti mikshita nindra tandra bhram kolodha krodha alasyam dirgha sutrata. Khaddosa purse ne hatabyam bhuti mikshita nindra tandra bhram krodha alasyam dirgha sutrata. Beloved friends, the meaning is, if you want to be a wise man, an enlightened man, beloved friends, then there are the latent, miserable thoughts in your heart already sleeping. You have to be very, very careful. Means sleeping unnecessarily too much. Then just contemplating over a lot of false imaginings, gratification of unwanted desires, then procrastination, and then always being inactive and not at all using the intelligence for noble cause. Nindra, Tandra, Bhayam, Krodha means always dwelling in fear and doubts and always encouraging your anger, hatred, jealousy, greed and everything else. Beloved friends, the meaning is very loud and clear. Control your mind and focus on purity of thoughts. That will really be your lamp, and you must take refuge in such kingdom of wisdom. And you remember the universal truth. Those who seeketh, they findeth. Those who knocketh, the door of wisdom, greatness, success, peace, prosperity will open for them. You have to be a person who is just struggling like a fish out of water. To get the water, that is your life. Your life is enlightenment, wisdom, awakening. And every moment of your life has to be really very peaceful, enjoyable, and living in serene, calm, cool environment. And the root cause of everything is your pure thoughts. Pure thoughts. If your action is pure, your thought is pure, you will be conquering the whole earth. And if you slip from one great phase to another, meanest phase, the bestial, the ignorant, the indolent phase of your ignorance, pain will follow you just like the wheel follows the ox in a bullock cart. Beloved friends, why to be a fool? Why not to be happy and wise and leave this punishment of life, which was not your desire to be born? But at least you can decide not to born again, as Buddha suggested. If you to follow the path of purity, enlightenment and wisdom, you will never be born to suffer again. Live this life happily and another life also peacefully. And I conclude my talk with a great poem, Success, by one of the great philosophers of the modern time, Ralph Waldo Emerson. You will be successful if you follow this path. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of the intelligent people, to earn the appreciation of the honest critic, to endure the betrayals of the false friend, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, and to leave the world a bit better, either by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeem the social conditions. And lastly, to know that at least one life has breathed easy, happily, peacefully, cheerfully, and that you have lived. Beloved friends, trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury with its dead. Act in the living present, heart within and God overhead. Arise, awake, and stop not till you have reached the goal of your glorious moment of life, of awakening, enlightenment, wisdom, following the path of truthfulness, judicious path, path of peace, love and non-violence. If every human being learn this lesson, he will never be shadowed by the sorrows, and he will never be scorching in the fierce fire of suffering. The root cause of suffering is in his thinking. His inward thought reflects his outward conditions and environment. Purify your inner soul, and everything is really brightened for you. The visions that glorify your mind and the ideals that enthrone in your heart, the vision and mission, the dreams of wisdom that will make your life and this great person you will become. I love you and thank you very much. May God bless you, be enlightened, and bask in the glory of your wisdom. You will never suffer. You will live happily, peacefully and joyfully, and create environment for others to live in these conditions and circumstances. And then you have lived. Then only you have lived. Otherwise you have not lived. Not lived. Just like every creature came and went traceless. No significance, no meaning of life. Live a purposeful life with a mission, with an ideal, with a vision. Because you are an equal temper of heroic heart, blessed with the power of your mind, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. I love you, really. Thank you.